to 17, 16, 8 points of damage as your throat begins to close up as those words escape your breath, as that nat 20 saves your life. As you kind of fall back in pain, those words kind of escape you and your back hits the floor and you kind of, your eyes roll for a second and you hear like some movement slightly. And you, in a few seconds, you come to, and she's gone, but you're alive. Your throat hurts a lot, and you're lucky to be alive, but you're alive.
Holy crap.
All right, let's get the others in here.
Oh man.
Hey guys.
Oh,
hey.
no.
Oh,
that
God.
worked.
Yo, he been in there longer than the agreed
3.5
amount
minutes, my
of time.
dick. My dick.
I don't like that silence. Hello?
Hey,
Chuck with the 20
hey.
though. Big
Was it-
king.
So, did they go into a room?
Yeah, they went into a room.
Okay, now obviously not everything happened in real time, right? Like fights
No.
take forever, even though they're very short. How long was that?
It was probably like, by the time they got in the room to right now, it's probably been 5 minutes.
Shit.
Pip's gonna look at her and go,
Wait,
No, she's in.
"You
She's
said
in.
3.5."
She's
I
in.
don't think
She's
we're
in a
in there.
room.
Yeah, we're not
Oh,
in the, we're out
we
in the
gotta
alley.
beat on
Oh.
the door first.
Yeah,
Oh.
Gabriel's knocking on the door with his cane, like whacking it.
Okay.
Good
So
question,
you,
Sock.
yes.
Phrasing.
Oh, well, actually, I'm gonna hold off. Actually, I'm gonna hold off on that question.
Okay.
It's okay.
All right. So you guys go down the alleyway to the door, and you start
Chuck?
knocking on the door.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm whacking my cane.
All right. You start whacking on the door.
Any
Sock,
response?
I'm
I'm
gonna
gonna-
send you a message.
Okay.
I'm gonna stand squarely just in front of the door, like just.
Right now
just
you
right in the
don't
middle,
hear
ready to
anything.
fuck-
Edna is
Did we
listening
hear
intently.
anything during this time frame?
Yeah.
Like any hustle and bustle, any like ruckus?
Right now, no. And it when you were outside, it's a city. Hearing anything, you didn't hear
There's a
nothing.
clamor. Yeah.
Yeah.
there's a-
Yeah.
yeah. Fuck.
Mm.
Fuck. Fuck.
Are we able to try the door?
You try the door and it opens. And you see Chuck lying on the floor. He's awake. But he's not looking too great.
Gabriel runs over.
Is a woman in the room?
She's not in the room.
Shut the door. Do not let
Huh?
anybody out.
Can I look around to see where she may have went?
Make a perception check. There is you notice that at the back of the room, there is a beaded curtain that is swaying back and forth that has recently been moved.
Pip, lock the door. Pip, lock the door. Nobody's leaving.
Okay, all right. I
And
I
Gabriel
got
gets
it.
down and starts like looking over Chuck and seeing what's going on.
I am gonna just full sprint towards the beads.
Pip's gonna use Mage Hand to close the door instead of doing it himself.
Okay. The door is closed.
Nice.
All right. Zaxxon, go ahead and roll me a perception check. Yeah.
What was that? Like Zaxxon rolling for perception? For
Yeah,
again?
he's the
Nice.
What was the roll for again?
he's rolling for perception. Give me a sec. Oh, you do not see anybody. It backs up onto another street, and there are crowds of people. It's name day. It's a very popular day here in Valinor. People have cloaks up. Noticing anybody in this crowd is nigh on impossible.
How's Chuck looking? Gabriel's like
He's
on his hands and knees, like looking him over.
he's looking a little bit rough. But actually, visibly, probably not. It's hard to tell. Visibly, it's hard to tell. He just looks a little bit. Well, actually, you tell me, Chris. You tell us.
Sure. So I'm gonna say while Chuck's laying on the ground, physically he's gonna look okay. Like nothing on the outside's gonna look like anything's going on. His facial expression is, I'm gonna say, for one of the first few times, I think people would notice he is clearly saddened, and I would say teary-eyed.
Oh my god.
Am I able to use detect magic in this instance, or does it have to be like prepared ahead of time?
You're a wizard. I think you can just. Would you?
Yep, you can do it. It's a ritual.
Okay, if that's the case, I'm gonna cast detect magic on
Nice.
Chuck, specifically because she's gone, he's here, he hasn't really said much, and because she had such a focus on Chuck and only Chuck, so much so that she was only willing to trade Pip if she spoke with Chuck alone and wasn't willing to entertain any conversation. At this point, Pip is very fucking like sus about what's going on. So I guess we'll see whether or not detect magic does anything.
In terms of Chuck, nothing. You don't pick up anything. There is actually, what you would pick up is there are traces of. Actually, let me think. Would that be magical? No, I wouldn't call that magical. So no, you wouldn't. As for Chuck, I don't think anything would be picked up as magical. No, unless Chuck has any magic items that I don't know about on him.
Would you call the Moon Touch sword magical in any way?
Oh yes,
or no?
that would be the only magical thing that would pop up then.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Is Chuck conscious?
I'm gonna say, well, he's awake.
Yeah,
what
he's
Sock
awake.
said,
Yeah.
But
Okay.
I'm gonna say he clearly is in like
You're just like
shock.
not there.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's in shock.
I think after a few moments of just checking him over for injuries, Gabriel just kind of like lightly like smacks him on the cheek. Like not like aggressively. He's like, "What happened? What's going on? What did she do to you?" Words, Chuck, words.
Chuck's gonna look at Gabriel and close his eyes, and we'll say one tear rolls down his face.
Oh.
She's poisoned him! Chuck, are you poisoned? What's going on? Chuck!
Chuck, what happened? What's the matter?
I'm gonna walk back into the room, just sort of like, because having seen that there was nothing out there, I've sort of just been standing near the beads. I want to walk over to Chuck and just sort of hold a hand out for him to grab and stand.
Chuck's gonna look at Zaxxon.
Uh,
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna. Can I make a history check?
For what specifically?
The relation as to why this woman, like, as a sort of, I'm trying to understand why, this has occurred.
Sure. Okay.
It's
You go
really
ahead.
confusing.
hmm.
Nice, dude.
Okay. So you already knew, like, asking about Worm's Hold earlier. You know, some Dragonborn. The Dragonborn are rare. They are not a they're not a common race in Ankir. So they are few and far between. Some hail from Worm's Hold, where Saxon hails from. Others hail from other places in the world. And some have been involved in conflict. Some conflict being with the dwarves.
Oh wow.
The dwarves, such as those the Duergar, Chuck's people. That conflict, the details on why that conflict started, you're not exactly sure. You just know that it has gotten pretty bloody. And it has gone on for a while, and it's one of those that has never really ended. It's one of those that just has carried on. And just happens in skirmishes. There's been spouts over the years of full-on conflict and large-scale battles. Most recent times, it's more small-scale skirmishes between small groups. But yeah, that's pretty much what you would know.
I'm gonna again just keep my hand extended out to Chuck and just say, I am not one of them.
Sorry.
He gave me a real, just kind of reels, just letting them talk. Stands back with,
Chuck,
and Pip.
with that said, is very, I'm gonna say nervously, like very hesitantly, is going to reach his hand out to Zaxxon and simply say, "Thank you."
I'm gonna hand his gun back to him again, barrel facing me, the handle towards him.
I don't know what that was about. But Chuck, when we first were talking to her, she said something about it, and it was kind of implied, but that you shouldn't be trusted. But I trust you. She said it, and then she sort of looked at you like what she said was about you.
Chuck will turn toward Pip. if anything happens, let it be me.
Oh, you ain't hitting me with that twice today, Chris. Come on.
That's crazy. I was totally not stream watching you in bed today. Dude, your RP's been crazy. It's been so good. Love it. But with Pip, you see Gabriel just kind of put his hand on Pip's shoulder, which is like just an extension of his hand hanging low, and just like clicks his cane, agreeing and nodding with Pip.
And this this helmet I got, it makes it so that I can understand any language.
Let me think. Hold on. Chuck's going to look at Pip again and say, if you really want to know, it's not hard to find. Following that response from Pip.
With that, Pip's gonna place his hand on the back of Well, actually, is Chuck still like on the ground?
I think you got up.
Or
Yeah,
did you
no.
get it?
Zaxxon reached his hand out and yeah.
Picked
Zaxxon
him up.
essentially, yeah.
Hmm. Here, Zaxxon, lift me up.
And then Pip sort of, motions
Puppies.
to Zaxxon to lift Pip up to the back of Chuck.
Gabriel
So
just
for
moves over to
context,
Anna.
from my understanding, with this helmet, in order to understand text, you have to be touching the surface of it.
Mm-hmm.
So if Zaxxon does,
Mm-hmm.
then Pip is going to touch the rune on the back of his neck. Now I don't know if that applies here, because secret messages and stuff don't apply according to this. But if it's just a written language, Pip is gonna read it and verify that it says the same thing we've been told from the very start.
Yes, it does. It does say worthy in Infernal. It does. It is. I will say that is like. It's a very. Like with comprehend languages, I will give you that this is a very. Like what I will say is like Zaxxon's Infernal that he's probably learned is a very different Infernal to what is written on the neck. So it's like Zaxxon's Infernal is a very it's like what is written on your neck is old Infernal, right? It's like it's like the original language, and Zaxxon has learned the currently taught like edition of that language, right?
Okay.
So what is on your neck is the original it is
Ancient Infernal.
it's ancient
It's like old
Infernal,
speak,
right?
yeah.
Exactly.
Fuck. Okay.
Fuck.
And as Pip does this and verifies that it does say worthy,
Don't like that.
he's gonna question.
Is this what you're talking about?
He's asking Chuck.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
Chuck's gonna nod slowly. And while nodding, say is part of it, but not all of it.
It's just gonna nod and motion for Zaxxon to put him down.
Send him back down on the ground.
Well, let's figure out. Let's get the answers we came here for before we start offering people up to the fucking demon god king.
Zaxxon just sort of speaking to everybody, just no one else splits off.
Absolutely not.
Gabriel clicks his cane twice, nodding.
He's gonna start towards the door and walk out back towards the market.
Chuck's gonna run in front of Zaxxon and just say, "Me first," and Chuck's gonna walk out first.
Okay.
Gabriel waits for Anna to walk in front of him, and he cabooses the pack as usual.
Pip
Yeah.
will be in the middle, just casually following.
What the fuck?
Oh my god!
What
You
the
hear out in the market someone screaming or shouting. And then you hear more people like shouting and then screaming about something. Like something's just happened. And you see people like running
What the fuck?
and you don't know what's happened. What do you do?
I'm immediately just gonna start darting my eyes around from wherever the sounds are coming from.
Yeah, same.
Chuck's gonna look confused and do the exact same thing.
Okay. You see opposite side of the market, quite deep in. So in a similar vein of how you kind of walked past the stalls, through some more stalls, and got to like a property on the other side, through some arches on the other side, you see like a crowd of people forming. And like around on the outside of a property. And like you see just a crowd forming over there, and there seems to be some kind of commotion occurring.
I'm gonna
Does the altercation seem to involve the party at all?
You guys, not so.
Is this a us problem?
That's
Yeah.
sort of what I'm referring to. Is this an us or?
I'm not against that idea because fuck, we just got here, homie. Like,
Yeah, we really need to find answers instead
Oh,
of getting involved in
shit.
something else.
I at least want to see.
Gabriel clicks his cane twice and casts thaumaturgy on himself.
Okay.
Centering from the party where he's standing, he amplifies his voice, just saying, "Move out of the way," and then
Okay.
gestures to Zaxxon to run in, like clearing a path for him.
Oh shit!
Like, get in there, dog.
Honestly, people like hearing that, people just get out of the way. They're just like, they hear like a booming voice. They're like, oh shit, this person means business. They're probably important. And they just like part the waves. And people just like, you manage to walk through, and there's still some people just like, it doesn't seem like this is like action. This isn't like a fight. This isn't like something dangerous is happening, because people aren't running. There was an initial people like running away from the sound of screaming, but that's changed. Now it's people are gathering. People are looking, and now you're kind of pushing through and pushing
Yeah, we
through
made a
the
clear
crowd.
path.
You've
And,
made a crowd.
During when he's gesturing, he's telling everybody to move. He's telling Zaxxon and Whoever wants to go in, and he keeps talking like basically on a megaphone. He's like, "We need guards. Notify the guards. We need guards." And he
You
just
can't
keeps repeating and repeating and repeating.
You see some people like listening to you, and they're like, "Yes, he's right. He's right. I'll go get some." And they like start moving off and like going and get like the talents. And you push through, and in this alleyway, you come out to this alleyway, and you finally make your way, and you part the crowd. And in front of you in this alleyway is like laid out in this dark alleyway is a corpse. Clothes half ripped off, like not ripped off, but like someone is dead, and they're like the sleeves of their shirt have been removed. It looks like from their thighs the like their trouser legs have been like cut off, and then from there down have been removed. But what jumps out to you immediately, especially after the interaction you just had with Pip and the helmet, is the infernal runes that have been carved into their arms and legs. All down their arms and all down their legs.
Oh, fuck.
Oh no! Why is it always
Um,
infernal?
Okay, so Gabriel keeps talking. He says, "If you have no business, clear. Let room for the guards to move in." He's like clicking, speaking, and he sees the body, and then he stops talking, and he runs over to the body.
Okay,
How
go ahead and
fresh is okay. Yeah.
make me a either persuasion or intimidation check to get rid of the crowd first.
Okay.
Is anybody else doing anything while he's doing that?
Is
I'm
Chuck
gonna-
close enough to see injuries?
Yes. So I think Gabriel's going to do I think you're both going to want to do a medicine check. So you can either both do a medicine check, or one of you can make it with advantage. It's up to you.
Yes!
Jesus, that's fucking that's good.
Oh my
I'll just do a regular medicine check. Actually,
Yes, Gabriel! I'm sorry. I never
Big
roll
plan.
good.
how do I roll advantage for medicine?
What's your
s-
bonus?
+2.
I have a +5.
I
Do you
mean,
want to
Fair.
assist
both
me?
the check, yeah.
It's either you both roll like a straight roll, or one of you can decide to help the other one and give advantage to the other person.
I think Gabriel would reach out to Chuck and say, "Help me see what's wrong."
Okay, so how would I assist them?
I
You don't have to. You don't have to do anything. You just let him roll with advantage if that's what you want to do.
Okay.
All right. So, Gabriel, you with your
Yeah.
thaumaturgy, you clear the crowd, and a lot of people immediately disperse. You notice this Balinor is very. The people here, they're very good at listening to orders. This is a very this is a good city. There's not a lot of social bad things happening here, so they just listen. So they just clear out, especially with an Nat 20. In medicine, this person died this morning. This happened today. The wounds and stuff, as much as you didn't want this to happen, they happened while this person was alive. So they were carved up while this person was alive.
Fuck.
As
Gabriel looks
for
for any sort of like pulse, just to ensure that it's dead.
no, this
person.
person's dead.
Dead,
This
dead.
person is
Okay.
dead. Yeah.
Okay. Spare the dying is not going to be assisted.
Let him finish describing.
I'm sorry. I'm just really excited because
No, you're okay. You're okay. But no, this person is dead. Their throat has been cut. But then they were also stabbed. About 12 times. Afterwards.
Holy shit.
God.
Yeah. So yeah, this person is very dead.
Is this not heavily mimicking the other guy's death?
Otto.
That's
Yeah.
why.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
why.
Now the rune or the runes, would they be identical to the ones that are on everyone's neck?
Go ahead and make. Well, I you don't have to make because you've just looked. They are not identical. They are not identical. The runes here, these are less language and more. They're just almost like they're just infernal runes. They don't
Okay.
mean anything in particular. They're almost like symbology. And they've just been carved in.
Ugh. Okay.
With Gabriel, or sorry, with Bam's role for medicine, would Chuck have recognized any of the areas of injury, like specifically where these people were hit?
I mean, like the throat and the chest were where they were attacked. Oh, you're on about like location wise, like
Gabriel pointed
Well,
out to Chuck.
I'll say for what it is, and like just plainly, do the injuries that pertain to this person look relative at all to when Chuck inspected Otto's injuries?
Does it look like the same MO? Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead. You can make me either an investigation or another medicine check to see if they like match, MO basically. It's up to you.
Oh fucking hell!
It's difficult to tell. It's difficult to tell. I will say that with Gabriel's annual check, there isn't the same. So if you remember on Otto, the wound on his neck had cauterization from a hot blade. This does not.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
This is just a normal throat's been cut by a normal blade. What happened to Otto was different.
Does anything with the body look like it could possibly have something to do with a ritual of some sort?
Go ahead and make me, if you want to, I want to make you do a check for this. Let's have a look. Make you either a religion check or an arcana check. Yeah. Or if you don't want to do either of those, you can do an insight check.
Let's do Arcana.
Do we?
Nice.
With an arcana check, there's definitely a pattern to the runes. There could definitely be an element of spellcast here. Whether or not there was spells cast, like basically there could have been, like, in the same vein as Pip bought the wands and the wands were used to channel arcane magic, the body could have been used for the same thing. It's possible.
It could have been used as a conduit.
It's possible, yes. Whether or not that's the case, you don't know. You would have to spend time. You would have to do your own magic, and you'd have to investigate. It's just that the way the runes are aligned, it's a possibility. Saxon, you were going to say something?
All of this information.
Okay.
Do we recognize the body?
No, this is a complete stranger.
Okay.
At this point, two members of the Talons turn up. One of them immediately removes his helmet upon seeing this, and is just like, he just looks down at the body. He doesn't, unlike most, idiot guards, these guys actually have common sense and don't accuse the people who were looking at the scene as the people who did it. And they're like, you guys know what happened? Any idea?
Pip's not going to respond, though. Pip is going to think back to, y'all remember where we found Otto? The little sort of teleport room thing to the left-hand side? There were rooms there?
Room,
yeah. And obviously something had happened there. Would those runes line up in terms of like pattern or how they look to the ones on this person?
That's kind of what I was thinking.
There is definitely elements that are similar. there's definitely elements that are similar. Again, if you wanted to like do further investigation, you can do.
Definitely would like to.
Okay.
Mm,
Do you want to do that now, or do you want to? Is that something you want to
Yes,
do? Like,
I'd like to do
okay.
that now.
Go ahead and make me an Arcana check.
Fuck.
Okay. With a 9, again, the Infernal runes are similar. Whether or not they're the same as what was like lining up with the teleportation circle, you're not quite sure. Yeah, difficult to tell with everything going on. Maybe if you spend a bit more time with it, you'll be able to tell.
Am I able to glean that or no? Or do you want me to roll again?
I'd ask you to roll again. I'll be honest.
Okay.
One of the talents does say, he turns to the other talent and he's like, "This is the third one this morning. Get the cleric." And the other talent pulls out a sending stone, immediately gets on, starts saying something, and within honestly within seconds, there is a whooshing and a lightning crack, and there is a mage with his hand on a cleric of Ioun that has turned up in the middle of the fog market, and is rushed over towards the scene. At the same time, pushing up behind you, is a elderly woman, with a walking stick, who walks up and pushes past you, glances down the alleyway, and just, "My boy, no!" and starts breaking down. And just starts leaning into you, Zaxxon, as you're like the closest thing to lean on. "No, what happened? Why is he alive? Please." And she looks and she sees the cleric coming in. She sees the cleric, and she looks and she has a glint in her eyes. She's, please help him." And she kind of puts her hands out, and the cleric looks and she gives us a small smile to this elderly lady, this human elderly lady, and she grabs her hands, and the cleric looks and she says, and the cleric pulls out, those of you familiar with either D&D or in character, those of you familiar with religion or resurrection magic, notice this. They pull out normally what would be a diamond, but they pull out a black flower, which is like this what actually, you know what, make me a quick history or arcana check.
Oh no.
This is for everybody.
Yeah.
What am I rolling for? I'm so sorry. Arcana
History or Arcana.
or Arcana? Give me a second.
Either way, I know this might be insensitive, but oh my god. But
Great.
Yeah, I
but
agree.
Pip does want to make sure that this old lady ain't no illusion.
Okay. Yeah, you can make another arcana check or no,
Trust but
investigation.
verify.
Okay. Yeah, you know what? Even if they were
You're not sure. Okay. Another little law drop, but Chuck is aware, Gabriel is aware, N is aware, and Pip, you're aware. This flower, which some of you might have seen before, but you've definitely heard of. This is a midnight gift. This is, so you've heard of these gifts that the gods left. Mystra, the god of magic, she left behind. Mistra's dead. I'll be honest. That girl, she's dead. But she left behind this. She left behind these flowers that would grow to be able to be used in resurrection magic, so that she could revive people in her death. There's a lot more to that, but essentially these flowers are to be used as replacements for diamonds, because diamonds are finite, and basically Mistra's once floating city, where it crashed when she died, supposedly this is how the story went, her once floating city, when the god died, her city crashed to the ground, and where it lies, these flowers bloom, and they are picked and sold to people to be then used to revive people. Anyway, so this cleric comes in with this midnight gift, and she comes up, and the old woman goes, "Please save him. You know, I hope it's gonna." He didn't believe. He didn't believe in gods or anything. He wasn't a religious fellow at all. I really hated that for him. But please save him. Please do. And the cleric goes, "It's all right. He'll be all right. I've done this many a time before. Don't worry. He's gonna be just fine. Okay?" And the cleric walks over.
Gabriel
Takes-
steps back, giving the room.
So is Chuck.
She takes the flower and places it on this young man's chest and begins to pray. And she just, different to many other clerics, because Ayun's a little bit different, but she takes out this book and begins to draw these small arcane but also divine symbols over the boy's body, almost geometric in nature, as the flower petals begin to like part, and she pulls the petals apart until they almost like reach each point of this geometric shape, and then she kind of whispers the final words of the prayer. And she doesn't cast Revivify. This is a slightly higher level, because Revivify is within 1 minute. This is whatever the next one up. I can't remember exactly what it's called. She casts the spell, and she looks down as the spell dissipates, and the flower blossoms, and then it dissipates into the air, and the magic sinks into his body, and there's a slight glow of radiance over him, and the infernal runes just glow slightly, and they even begin to heal over ever so slightly. They're still there, they're still scarred, but they're no longer like bloody and red. And 10 seconds pass. 20 seconds pass. 30 seconds.
Looking around.
A minute. See, the
Uh-oh.
cleric looks to the talons. 2 minutes.
Oh no.
Is he all right? Is my boy all right? Two more minutes pass, and the old woman at this point is just sat on the ground, her eyes just staring at her son. And the ritual begins again as the cleric pulls out another flower, re-beginning this ritual, taking the minutes it takes to reset it up, whispering a prayer to the god of knowledge to bring this man back from the other side. And
while this is happening, can Pip question one of the guards that was present
Sure.
for the other two?
Yep.
And
What happened to the other two earlier?
They came back fine, sir.
Did they have that? The runes?
Yes, sir.
I don't think this is a good idea.
How do you mean, sir?
I just don't think it's a good idea.
He kind of just
And,
looks
and
back.
Pip's just gonna stay quiet after that.
At this point, the cleric looks up after the second ritual finishes, and a few minutes have passed, and nothing. There's no breath. There's no movement.
Oof.
He's gone. She gets up and she moves over to the old lady, and she kneels down. She takes her hands. Mom, I can't tell you why, but I'm afraid your son's gone. And the old woman says, Why? Why won't she bring him back? I don't know. I've never seen anything like it before. And the cleric kind of lifts the lady up and just leads her off somewhere. You imagine to give her comfort. And the Talons kind of begin like calling in some people to help clean up. But for now, you are left like nothing's happened yet. Nothing's happening. You're still left in the alleyway with the body. But the resurrection magic did not work. That is the fact. For whatever reason, it did not work on this man.
Oof.
The old lady is like nearby. You still could talk to her if you wanted, but she's walking away. As is the cleric.
So I used detect magic earlier. Am I still able to cast it again or no?
Yeah, it's a ritual. You can do it as many times as you want.
Okay. Oh shit! I'm trying to figure out.
Right.
Actually, she's next to the dead person, right?
Who?
The older lady.
Yes.
Okay.
She's
so
walking away a little bit now, but
as that's happening, hopefully still within vicinity.
Yeah.
So it says detect magic is a 30 feet sphere.
yeah.
I would like to cast detect magic.
Okay.
Ideally, getting both of them within said sphere.
Okay.
To determine whether or not Pip can detect the presence of any magic.
Okay.
Or any sort of aura. Yeah, I guess we'll do that. Hold on. Let me click this.
So you would get the divine magic, like occurring with the body, the resurrection magic. There is no magic coming from the old lady.
Okay.
She's not an illusion. There is magic coming from the cleric. She does have magical items and stuff. She's a higher level cleric who is,
highlighter.
She's a busy, she's a high level cleric of Aeon who's
right.
But yeah, the magic that's occurring, like the magic's worked on the body. Like there is no questioning that. Like you can see it with your own two eyes now. That magic is there. You can see it working in the body. But
There was just no soul to restore.
There's nothing left. Yeah.
it's not there. There's no resurrection happening.
Horrifying.
So something ripped the soul from. Excuse me.
Which is interesting because before, there was the whole thing about oh my god, it was like oh my god, it's gonna piss me off. It was something regarding souls being lost to Shadowfell in the past. And something that like Pip had read about. Now I have no idea.
Oh my god, I remember that.
I have no
Wait,
idea whether or
from
not.
when? How far back?
This was when we were in the room with the skulks.
Do I remember that?
I don't believe so, because this was shortly after the fight ended, I believe.
Fuck.
And okay, so for notes that I have, I wrote down they typically all look different, same devilish features, blah blah blah. I have read in very old books in Wizard College, essentially, that they have the capability of summoning these creatures to do their bidding, blah, blah, blah. They're people who walked into the Shadowfell, got lost, and every essence of their being got lost in that plane. They become husks of themselves. Every ember of their soul got lost to the Shadowfell. And typically, they look like someone who has done a ritual to do their bidding.
Shit.
Now I don't know if that has anything to do with this, but like, if
Are we gonna? End
if
up with
this was
skulks that look
supposed to
like
work
Convoy?
and it didn't, that's kind of, I don't know. That's the only reference I have to any sort of like soul from before. Now I could be completely on a fucking way off path.
No, I hear you.
But
I hear you.
but that, in addition to the runes, I don't think that's a coincidence.
Or it could also be whatever spell he was used as a conduit ripped his soul from
That's what I'm
him
thinking. That's where my head was. Yeah.
upon completion. Or maybe the cost of the spell was his soul. Are we close? Do we need to roll?
I think
you
we're
wanna
just, yeah. I think we're just
wanna roll?
chit-chatting.
I mean, I was gonna say speculating, but
Is
Yeah,
anyone?
I mean, like, yeah, we're spitballing, but I mean, yeah, that's.
I'll tell you what. Is anyone proficient in religion?
yeah, I have I want to say slight proficiency. Yes.
I'll only let
Uh,
someone roll something. The proficient
only
in
have-
religion.
I am not proficient in religion.
If you've
And
got
an Arcana.
if you're proficient in religion, you can roll me a religion check.
Wait, how do we know if we're proficient? If we have
just
like a
with the
plus
dot.
to it?
It has like a check mark.
Oh no.
They're bolded as well.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I did,
no.
but
Not
I rolled,
religion.
I rolled like shit.
A 9. Yeah, I can't. Yeah, 9.
Yeah.
You're not recalling much.
Yeah.
Did you say Arcana?
Nope, I said religion.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. I know. I heard it too. I was like, wait,
I
I'm
heard
proficient.
I
in
heard
that. Hold on.
Arcana. I was about to press a button.
No.
Real quick.
Oh, damn it. No.
Yeah. Not much we can do.
Fuck.
Yeah. We'll just have to make note of that.
Oh, is there anything like you'd like to do while you're here with the body and the guards?
I think Gabriel would give the body a once over once deemed dead.
Okay.
Looking for any sort of like, not like an ID card, but like anything that would lead to who this is, or like some sort of any sort of item that could be. No, I'm not like loot boxing the guy. I just want to figure out who this dude could possibly be or affiliated with. Is there any sort of like branding on the arm, like an armband? Like is he part of like a militia?
Got to
Something like
make
that,
make an investigation check.
Okay.
You don't find anything particularly standout-ish, other than he has a small notebook that marks
Okay.
himself as one of the keepers.
Keepers.
Yeah, so the keepers, so he's a keeper of Balinor, which you would recognize the keepers, Anna, as the keepers are basically just the librarians, essentially. They're the people
Shit.
that work in Balinor.
I think Gabriel will take the notebook and hand it to Anna.
Okay. Do you? I'm imagining it's a little bit bloodstained. But upon opening it, in the front it does have his name as. Let's have a look. His name is Derwin Leafhand. But this does just have like general records of like things that he just needs to do. It's just a notebook of like day-to-day stuff. But just flicking through it, you do notice something that just keeps standing out to you. And I'd say just this is just as a group, just like flicking through it, and Gabriel doing this. Especially with what the grandma said, it just keeps popping up that whenever he has to work, so the way that, and you would know this, the library is split into floors, with each floor having its own basically like a genre, right? So there'll be floors for history, and there'll be floors for like really specific like agriculture and stuff like that. Some days he'll have to work on different floors. He hates working on the floors that have to do with religion. He hates working on the floors that have to do with gods. He hates anything to do with deities. And he notes that down. He doesn't believe in believing in gods. This guy, to keep it short and sweet, is faithless.
After handing the book to her, he just gets back up, pushing on his cane. Just, "Hey, there's nothing else on the boy."
Is there a limit per page in the journal? Do I have to like make new pages?
I have no idea. I'll be honest.
I hear Notepad's great this time of season.
I can't upgrade it, or I can't add to mine. It has stopped, so I guess I'm just gonna add another page. All right, sorry. Okay, so he's faithless, so perhaps that has something to do with. Do we know anything about faithless and demons? Are they
go ahead and
used for anything?
go ahead and make me either. So, what exactly are you asking?
Like, are certain rituals or whatnot you would need somebody who is lacking in faith?
Go ahead and make me either a religion or a history check. Also, just to clarify, because it can be confusing, so this is for everybody. But demons and devils are different. Devils are what you guys have been dealing with. So demons are your chaotic evil, kill everything, murder everything, eat everything from the abyss. Devils are your, if you've played Baldur's Gate 3, they're your Raphael, Mizora, contract making evil bastards.
Shout out to Zora.
Those are
Correct.
that's the difference. So that basically,
But Asmodeus is the demon king.
no,
right?
he's a devil. He's Asmodeus is
he's
the
a
devil king.
devil.
Yes.
Oh,